Now we're going to go on to our next speaker, Bill James. See Alec, if you come forward and share a few words with us. Him and his mother are some of our most respected leaders, and I'll let him describe his genealogy and where he comes from. As we say in Indian country, he comes by it honestly. The leadership that he has and who he descends down from, we come by it honestly, and that's what we can look back in our history and say we descended down from some powerful people. So again, Bill James, thanking you, Bill, for your presence today. Salik. Sorry, that's going to cost me.
CIO. Arkansas and it's a Haishka. That's a Wanasia Ashtala. This church. Arkansas and it's a Haishka. It's a Nasal Lokla, a Tiasquile. Nasal Lokasla, La. It's a Will Mokasla. It's a Quilanitum, Asla Tiasquile. Arkansas and it's a Hawk, it's a Snap, it's a Salalokla. It's a Snap, it's a Skano White Squall. It's a Nasalalokla. Just Skano Hees. The Oxala. Arkansas, it's a Squall, it's a treaty. Equian listen to Snap. Just Skano Hees. Natan, Chetzoklami, Natan's Tan, eats a Chalmuk to Panalakat. Naman eats a Nasila to Dawamish. Nasila's Tan. Hailwood, Chetzoklami, it's a Hailwoods, Tan, it's a Tsiluk, Nasna. Tsiluk, it's a Shayas, Lushootseed. Arkansas, it's a Haishka. Let's a house at the squile, let's a squile at the squile, see ya. Haishkat, let's a house at the squile, let's a old muck. Tangoch, let's a stelno. Arkansas, and it's a Haishkat, let's a old muck, well muck. Queen listen to Salalokla, the Oxala. To Oxala Akens, to Snap, that's a Peepa, it's a Wellmock signed la, it's a Point Elliott Atla. Akenless, the Oxala. It's a Wellanitum out till Nongets, it's a Wellanitum. It's a Wellmock Squall. It's a Wellanitum out till Nongets, it's a old Wellmock Squall. It's a Wellanitum out till Nongets, it's a Chalangan, it's a Wellmock. See ya. Queen listen to Squall, it's a Nasalalo, it's a Oxala. It's a Huyam, it's a Estelno. E hop Tusquel Cheshashwahwaluksansiam. We are the survivors of the Great Flood, is what those words mean. We are the people. E akansisan at a haishka tiasquel. That's a skano white squel. It's a skano white squel. That's a sladite. Sladite. Quyan listen, that's a skano white squel. Skano white snuff. Quyan listen to squel. It's a nasila. Tsili. Chaskano hees. Na Oxala, Arkansas, and Out Muckl-te-oh, Cheshashwahwaluksansiya. Out. Well. So Wilmox Asla. E Arkansas, it's a Sali, that's a Salalokla Asla Tiasquile. It's a Sali, that's a Walmokla Asla Tiasquile. I could go on in the language, but there's a few things I would like to say while I have a moment. Remembering the words of my grandfather, remembering the words of my teacher, who we are and where we come from. Don't forget who you are and where you come from, are their words. Remember who you are. That's why I said at the beginning who I was. I come from these people. This is who I come from. I come from Dawamish, and I come from Lummi. I come from Port Snoqualmie. I come from Cooper Island and Vancouver Island. This is who my ancestors are. I come from all of these people. Don't forget who you are. You don't come from just one. You come from all the people. Listening to the creation stories of how we survived the Great Flood and came to be who we are, where we are today, is an important lesson for our young people to learn who we are. We never got these lessons when we went to school. Actually, I was one of the last few that was actually taken away to a boarding school. Physically taken away. I didn't realize it until one day it hit me when the BIA agent came right into my bedroom and said, "You're going to school." It really didn't occur to me in that manner that that's what happened. And before you knew it, I was on a train going to New Mexico, far away. A lot of us have these experiences in our lives, trying to disrupt the culture and the ways of our people. I studied the language with my teacher when I came back from school, my Oksala. This is where I turned when I came home, was to my people. Listening to the stories of our ancestors, recent ancestors gone just before me, my teacher's wife, my grand aunt. I used to pester her all the time. "Auntie, how come your kids don't speak the language or know their culture? Auntie, how come your kids don't know the language or practice their culture?" I kept this up for years when I studied. "Auntie, how come?" And I pushed the right button the right day. I said, "Auntie, how come?" Shut up now, I'm going to tell you. She lifted up her blouse on her back, and on her back was a big scar. You see that? That's from speaking my language when I went to school, she says. I was whipped when I went to school and spoke my language. And I swore when I grew up and had children, I was never ever going to subject them to what I went through when I went to school, so we never taught my children their language or their culture. This thing went on for generations to our people. This is why we are the way we are today, why you don't hear the language so fluent anymore. We're doing the best we can to preserve our way of life. And hoping today that something can come from all of this with education, helping people better understand where we are in life and the help that we need with education of our people. Because it's important to our people as well as all peoples to have an understanding of our native people here today. I can listen to squal. I had something I was going to do here today, but I don't know if I'll do it or not. But, I was going to ask if Donald Eskridge would come forward. You don't have to, Donald, but I was going to ask you to come forward. You can just stay there. But I was going to ask you in the language to come forward and sign my paper. It was called a treaty. You know, after I got done speaking in the language, to make people aware that we have a different language than the Chinook jargon. We have different dialects within our area here that people don't understand between the Lushootseed and the Muckl-te-oh and the San-Chasen and the Muckl-te-oh. We have different dialects here that people don't realize that we have different dialects, that we did not fully understand what happened during those times. And being aware of those things, people have to start hearing those words so they'll have a better understanding of what happened during that time. But with that, I would like to say, Haishka Atsahuyan Nakwakwalatiasquile. Siap Siaya Siam Nisjalacha Nishwalakwa Tiasquile Siam Haishka Wahoy.